Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network. Jeffrey Mosher sitting in for Chris Holman on the road, Traverse City vicinity. We're on hand in Acme, Michigan at the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa for CAR MBS, the Center for Automotive Research's Management Briefing Seminars, number 59 here in 2024. And we're on hand with physicist, professor, entrepreneur, and president, Dr. Robert McMahan from Kettering University. And Doctor, welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat.
It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Now, Michigan Business Network caught up with you up at the Mackinac Policy Conference. Real briefly, what were your takeaways from that conference?
Well, that's such a variety. You know, there's always a variety of takeaways from that conference. It's really just the thing I love about that conference the most is the ability to have all of those touch points with members of the community here and in the region. It's an exciting time in this industry. It really is, and that was the big takeaway for me: is how much energy there is, how much potential in Michigan and in the region.
Universities don't take the summer off. What has Kettering University been up to since we were together up on the island?
Well, we're very excited to be participating in a number of large development projects in the Middle Michigan region, and of course, Kettering as one of the nation's best engineering schools really features prominently in a lot of the conversations around batteries, EVs, mobility technology, etc. So we've got our hands in a lot of pies right now.
Excellent. And as we're on hand for the management briefing seminars, what is Kettering and yourself looking forward to, or have you already gotten out of CAR MBS for this year?
Well, this is always a great touch point with the industry to see from first sources, from the people doing the work, what's happening and where they're thinking about taking various aspects of the industry. Of course, EVs and the emergence of the mobility industry is front and center in a lot of this and how that's going to play out over the next few years. But I'm also moderating a panel later in the day about higher education and about more specifically workforce and how we meet the demands of this industry and these growing industries in Michigan.
Excellent. So is it 12 weeks on, 12 weeks off, where students get classroom experience and then they get hands-on training out at different companies around the United States or even internationally? Absolutely.
And Kettering is unique really in higher education in the U.S. because our students enter that rotation that you talk about. They come to class, 12 weeks they're on campus, an intense, rigorous, world-class engineering education while they're there, and then they leave for 12 weeks and they go into professional placements in industry where they're not just watching, they're not observing, they're members of the engineering team, they're members of the development team, they're working on projects, they're working on programs, they see the product development cycles, they see how research is done at the corporate level, and they get to apply what they're learning in the classroom in a real-world context. And then they come back to the classroom and tell us what they've learned, and so there's this wonderful, two-way communication that goes on between these two aspects of their education.
Sometimes it's the companies that they've gotten to experience when they're out on the road. Other times, I'm sure that there are companies in Middle Michigan and across the state that are watching Kettering and looking for who's graduating as they want to attract that talent. And Kettering's got a success rate for that model of the talent issue.
Well, the wonderful thing about our model is they don't have to wait for them to graduate. Right? We can partner with these companies, and we do partner with these companies, to help them develop really a supply chain of talent, a pipeline that results in graduates that not only, like I said, have a world-class engineering education, but also are educated in their companies and their corporate cultures and how they do business, their business processes. So when they graduate, they're not only an engineer, but they also understand, they're also an employee and a fully engaged member of their technical staff. They don't have to come out of college and try to find where the coffee pot is. They are already fully embedded into the organizations.
Over the years, I've heard of either robotics or new concepts in different forms of transportation. Are there groups, organizations on campus that still put their ingenuity into that as well as a side project?
Oh my gosh, yes. In fact, we're recognized every year as having some of the most dynamic and largest number of programs and intramural activities for students. Because of this unusual schedule, we don't have division athletics, and our students have the opportunity, therefore, to put those energies in a whole host of things. So we have everything from SAE competition teams across the board to drones to aeronautical engineering groups to students who work in biomedicine. They're using advanced 3D manufacturing techniques to create new medical devices. I mean, it runs the whole gamut. It's really exciting to be around these students because they are so creative.
President McMahan, as we go to close, what do you think that the Michigan business community doesn't know about Kettering University?
Well, we're blessed in the state of Michigan having a number of very fine institutions of higher education. And what they don't know about Kettering is how well we partner with them. They don't often realize that we not only view them as a partner, we view them as an integral part of the education of our students. And I think that makes us different. We're not just educating students to send out. We believe that partnership between the organizations and the university is a critical, not just important, but a critical part of their education. So it's kind of like anybody can learn to play the piano, but if you want to play in Carnegie Hall, you've got to practice. And our practice is real because our students practice what they're learning in industry and in the actual roles that they'll be taking once they graduate.
President McMahan, thank you so much for spending some time with the Michigan Business Beat today.
Thank you for having me. It's delightful to be here.
Excellent. And once again, President Dr. Robert McMahan of Kettering University. We've been on hand here at CAR MBS, the Center for Automotive Research's management briefing seminars at the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. We'll be back with more on the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network.